STARBORN. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is A Mystery Unravels. And that is because of different things that are changing, but the most important thing is that a lot of planets have changed signs, and that can help a mystery unravel now. So first of all, I want to remind you that there are no retrograde planets. All 10 planets are going direct, and that simply means that we too can be moving forward right now. And then there are no planets in any of the air signs. There's nothing in Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. So this isn't the time for small talk or chit-chat or spin or hype of any kind. I don't think that people are in the mood for that. And then the reason why a mystery can be unraveling now is because people are sort of scattering their forces right now. And because they're scattering their forces, it simply means that as they scatter their forces, the hidden truth, maybe more than one, can be rising to the surface, and it can be revealing some people's carefully concealed plans behind the scenes and their motivations for doing that. How could this occur? Well, actually, the reason they can be scattering their forces right now is because too many planets are at degrees that reduce to the number 5. Think of the 5 fingers on your hand. When you hold them out like this, you can see that if a person were interested in a lot of different things, they could be scattering their forces in different directions. And what that leaves is a lot of gaps. And that's what's happening now. And so as people scatter their forces, there can be gaps in the truth, or in what they say is the truth, and that allows us to see a mystery unraveling as truth comes up to the surface in small details. For instance, today, the moon is exalted in Taurus, a fixed financial sign, and it is at 23 degrees. 23 is a number that reduces to 5. 2 plus 3 equals 5. And that wonderful exalted moon in Taurus is being harshly opposed exactly by Jupiter in Scorpio, also at 23 degrees. Both of these wonderful planets in the fixed financial signs are working against each other. And that simply means that a mystery could unravel about financial concerns, since these are financial signs, because people are almost running in circles, a little bit undecided or confused about things, and financial terms of a deal or financial conditions can be working against each other. So it's too bad these planets are opposing each other, but that can help unravel a mystery too, because there can be, as these planets are working against each other, there can be different fluctuations in financial matters. And that could leave some gaps that reveal the truth as well. And then there are 2 other planets that are in degrees that reduce to 5. And that is because, as I told you, planets have moved on. And now Venus and Neptune in Pisces are at 14 degrees of Pisces. Well, 1 plus 4 equals 5, a number that involves scattering your forces. And so, since Pisces rules illusion, and it rules things behind the scenes, it simply means that there can be people now who appear to have high ideals, or they appear to be law-abiding, and yet they can be caught in a trap of their own making behind the scenes as they scatter their forces. And that means that they can be changing their stories, or changing perhaps what they've said before, or even covering up something. And that can leave gaps in their good alibis or in their noble intentions. And so people can be scratching their heads and saying, wait a minute, something doesn't match up here. And that can help unravel a mystery. And so they're just, by scattering their forces, they are leaving a lot of room for the truth to rise to the surface. And so as people look at details and they check facts, they can begin to see some sort of mystery unraveling, and that mystery would have something to do with what had been going on behind the scenes. So we have that to look forward to. Because Pisces has more than just Venus and Neptune there, the Sun and Mercury have moved into Pisces. So now there are 4 planets in Pisces. Pisces is a sign that is ruled by the number 7. And 7 is the number of mystery. And so that is why, with so many wonderful planets, the Sun, Mercury, Neptune, and Venus in Pisces, a mystery can be unraveling, because there's a lot of light in that sign right now. And those 4 planets are being beautifully trined by Jupiter in Scorpio, which rules justice. So as a mystery unravels, and after people are scattering their forces or changing their stories or manipulating financial conditions, we can begin to learn the truth about things. And it will be the truth about something that had been carefully concealed from people. And so it might be that people who appear to be noble are nothing of the sort. In fact, they could be phonies. And we might be finding that out, because not only are the 4 planets in Pisces being trined by Jupiter in Scorpio, but all of the planets in the heavens either trine or support the sign of Pisces right now, except one. And that is Mars in Sagittarius. And oh boy, with Mars in Sagittarius squaring the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Neptune, there can be a lot of trouble afoot. And the reason why is that Mars is a malefic planet, and it is being trined by Uranus in Aries. So it can be having a lot of energy devoted to challenging people who want to get at the truth. In other words, they want to have the truth revealed. Well, other people, for evil reasons, may be wanting to cover that up as well. That could be going on. Because what does that Mars in Sagittarius really represent? Well, there are a lot of possibilities, and all of them are bad. It could represent fraud, blackmail, extortion. It could represent wanting to harm others, perhaps through torture, or having tight control over people who are weaker, or even organizations that are weaker or vulnerable in some way. It also could represent harm coming to the victim's family members or to their friends. So that is a very, very dangerous aspect. But at the same time, remember I said there are so many planets that are at degrees that reduce to 5, that it simply means so many people are scattering their forces that they are, without knowing it, they are allowing the truth to come out. And so that is good, because, you know, either people are going to scatter their forces and leave out important information that we do find out about, and therefore a mystery unravels. So you could get at the truth by something as simple as a slip of the tongue. That somebody could have their tongue slip a little bit, and then we would learn the truth. And that's how a mystery could unravel. Or else it could unravel by shining a powerful searchlight in a dark, hidden place. Because once the truth unravels, which is imminent, a mirror is going to crack. And that is because an illusion will be destroyed by the truth. And we do have that to look forward to. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, you have 2 ways you can go right now. And that is because your sign has Uranus in it. And remember, there are 4 planets in Pisces now. And that means there's a lot of light in the background of your life, because the sun is one of the 4 planets. And so you may be wanting to support people who want to get at the truth and help to see that justice is done, because Uranus is sextiling these planets. So that's good. But at the same time, Uranus in your sign is being trined by Mars in Sagittarius, and that planet is really up to no good. And so if somebody is trying to urge you to do something quickly that could further their cause, and they may have evil intent, which is concealed, you could get yourself in a little bit of trouble by moving too fast right now, Aries. And that's why if you could simply look at things the way they really are behind the scenes and try to figure out what the truth is as a mystery unravels, you may be instrumental in a clever way with helping the truth come to the surface and helping justice be done, because Jupiter is trining all those planets in Pisces. Or the other thing is that with Venus and Neptune there, you may have some sort of lucky escape, or something in your life could be somewhat forgiven right now, or there could be a fair settlement of something as well. So you have a lot of options right now, Aries. I hope you choose the right one, the one that will do you the most good. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, the exalted moon is in your sign today, and that simply means you could have your mind on something a little bit pricey. And since the moon rules real estate, you could have your mind on a move of some sort of moving on up to something a little nicer. But it would be very expensive to do. And so you could be looking around for financing, Taurus. And that is where the trouble may come from, because the exalted moon is at 23 degrees, which reduces to 5. It means you're scattering your forces about a financial matter right now, Taurus, and so you might be looking for extra money. But Jupiter in Scorpio is also at 23 degrees, and it is harshly opposing the exalted moon in your sign. And these are the two financial signs, and these very good planets are really not working well together right now. In fact, they're working against each other. And so I don't think that some extra financing or something that has to do with money, I don't think that's going to work out the way you wish it would, Taurus. But if you were looking for extra money, one safe place to look for it could be from an older relative, or it could be from borrowing against a retirement plan that you already have. In other words, a little nest egg that you've already built up. And that's because Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn are trining that exalted moon. And so, you know, choose the way you handle your money very carefully right now, Taurus, because something is going to be real expensive, and I don't think you can quite put the financial pieces together at the moment. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is a time with 5 planets in the mutable signs, all harshly squaring each other, when you absolutely cannot afford to do or say much at all. And the reason why is that you yourself are vulnerable. The Sun is conjuncting Mercury, your own ruler, and Venus and Neptune are in Pisces, squaring your Sun as well. And Mars in Sagittarius, which is the real troublemaker, is opposing your Sun sign. With these 5 planets in very harsh aspect to your Sun sign, it simply means that you can't even afford to comment about anything this week, Gemini. And that is because as people scatter their forces, a lot of different stories and information is going to come out. And the mystery will unravel as we find out the bits and pieces of the truth, but there could be a lot of camouflage around too. And you may have people that are coming at you, sort of goading you into trying to react to whatever their assertions are. And you mustn't do that, Gemini. You yourself are very vulnerable. 5 planets all somewhat attacking your Sun sign doesn't put you in a very good position right now. So you have to really be quiet and not react to anything. No matter how right you think you are, Gemini, this is not the time when you can afford to say anything, because you will, no matter what you say, you will walk right into somebody else's trap. And you can't afford to do that right now because there are no planets in the air signs. There's nothing fortifying your sign, so be careful. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, I think it's going to be wonderful when a mystery unravels, because the truth will come out. and it will come out because it's been hidden for a long time. But now that people are scattering their forces, it leaves room, remember, for that truth to rise to the surface where we can all see it. And so I think that is going to make you happy, Cancer. And the reason why is that the 4 planets in Pisces trine your sun beautifully. And one of them is the sun, so that's good. And then Jupiter in Scorpio is also trining your sun. So as a mystery unravels and we learn the truth, justice will be done. And I think you're going to be able to say to yourself, Cancer, I thought that all along, or I suspected that. And so I think you're going to be very happy that the truth finally comes to the surface and is dealt with. And I don't think that this is going to be something that just magically happens. I think as people scatter their forces, the details will reveal carefully concealed plans. And as long as we're looking at the details, we are going to be able to connect the dots, and you will be too. And that will benefit you somehow, and perhaps it'll benefit you financially, Cancer. So I don't think you have anything to fear from a mystery unraveling at all. It will be to your benefit. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when I think that you too need to be very careful. And the reason why is that you can feel as if you're caught between a rock and a hard place, Leo. And that is because, oh boy, the exalted moon in Taurus is, as I said, is opposing Jupiter in Scorpio. And they're both at 23 degrees, which means an exact harsh opposition. And they are both exactly squaring your sun, Leo. Jupiter is, and so is the exalted moon in Taurus. So they're going head to head, fighting each other, and they are both fighting you, Leo. What does that relate to? Finances. I think that you're caught between a rock and a hard place, between something that you really got your eye on that could be very nice and yet a little pricey, and the means to pay for it. And I don't think you can quite get everything together. Scorpio also rules taxes and loans and credit and debt. And I think that there's just a problem with that financially. And I think you've got a problem you can't solve right now. And so it might be good when people scatter their forces and details of truth rise to the surface. That could help you out a little bit eventually, Leo. But for right now, just as with Taurus, I don't think you're going to be able to resolve some financial situation right now, either because expenses are too high or because you can't get your hands on enough money to cover something. So I think you're going to have to wait something out at the moment. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when, just like Gemini, you need to be really careful. And the reason why is there are 5 planets in mutable signs very harshly aspecting your sun sign. And so that means that the 4 planets in Pisces, the Sun, Mercury, your own ruler, Venus, and Neptune are all opposing your sun sign, Virgo, which means you really don't know who to trust. And even some people that you had previously trusted may not be quite so noble or high-minded as you think, and that could be revealed. So you may experience some disappointment in a friend soon, as you learn the real truth about them, Virgo. But also Mars in Sagittarius is squaring your sun, and so that is an indication that somebody can really have it out against you, Virgo. And the funny thing is, it's because of everything you're doing right. You haven't done anything wrong. The exalted moon in Taurus is trining your sun. Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn are trining your sun. You can be pretty happy with your investments or the higher price of real estate right now because maybe a home you own is worth more. That could be nice. And also people in high places really like you. And that is why somebody can be jealous or envious or really have it out for you. Not for what you've done wrong, because you haven't done anything wrong. It's for what you've done right. And their resentment could be rather cruel. That's why you need to be really quiet and keep a very low profile this week. Don't make yourself a target. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when I think there is the possibility that you might have been kidding yourself about a few things. And the reason why is that your ruler is Venus. And Venus is conjuncting Neptune in Pisces, and they are both at the 14th degree, and 1 + 4 = 5, a scattering number. So somewhere in your life, I think you've been scattering your forces, Libra, and you may have been sort of dreaming a great dream and not paying too much attention to how much work you have to put into that dream to make it come true. And so that means that you need to face reality a little bit more, Libra, and quit wishing on a star. And so there aren't any planets in air signs right now. There's nothing supporting your sign. So I think that as people scatter their forces and the truth rises to the surface and a mystery unravels, it may actually help you. It might help you face reality, Libra. And that's what I think you need to do more right now. Don't just dream the dream. Get to work on making it come true. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time when I think that you need to keep your hands in your pocket and not spend any money right now. But Jupiter is in your sign, which is a fixed financial sign, but it's at the 23rd degree, which reduces to 5. So it is exactly opposite the exalted moon in Taurus today. And that simply means that something that's pretty pricey that you've had your eyes on and that you may even think you can afford is going to be too pricey. In other words, there could be additional taxes or additional costs to financing a purchase right now. Or it could be that something that's high priced really isn't worth it, and there could be things going wrong that you don't know about. That could be the mystery that unravels in your life, Scorpio. So keep your hands in your pocket and don't spend a lot of money right now. I think you would regret it. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, you may be all fired up and want to do things your way because your sign is trining Uranus in Aries, so you could be wanting to make a new beginning for different kinds of reasons, maybe because you're caught in something and you want to get out of it, so you want to move fast. But there are actually 4 planets in Pisces squaring that Mars in your sign, Sagittarius, and I'm wondering just how much good it's going to do you to move too fast right now. Because if you do move too quickly, it could actually create a backlash against you. And that's because it could hurt people that are vulnerable, your actions could. Or it could cause some sort of harm, and you would be blamed for that no matter what your intentions are. So this is really not a good time for you to move quickly, Sagittarius. You sort of need to cool your jets right now and just calm down and try not to do too much, because people will take it the wrong way and you'll get blamed for it even if you do have good intentions. So don't do anything. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when I think that you can be very pleased with your investments or with a financial situation. And the reason why is that although the planets in the financial signs are fighting each other, they're certainly complementing you, Capricorn, because the exalted moon in Taurus is trining your sun sign where you have Saturn and Pluto, and also Jupiter in Scorpio is sextiling your sun sign. So I think you're feeling pretty good about your financial condition right now, but you need to be real quiet about that because Mars is in Sagittarius right behind your sun sign, and that means trouble could be brewing in the background of your life if you advertise your good fortune. So just keep a lid on it for right now, Capricorn. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, you're caught up between a rock and a hard place, just like Leo. And the reason why is that the exalted moon in Taurus is squaring your sun, and so is Jupiter in Scorpio. And there are no planets in the air signs fortifying your sign. So something is too expensive, or the conditions for financing something are going to be prohibitively expensive, or it can be that you're looking at debt, or somebody else is looking at your debt, and something isn't working out in a financial situation. I don't think it is going to work out right now, no matter what you do, Aquarius. So I think you just need to be really, really patient right now. And there was a solar eclipse in your sign last week, but you know, you've got to, I know you're ready to move forward quickly, but I think you have to have the money to do it. And I'm not so sure that you have it right now, so that's why I'm urging patience. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, in a way, you're the big winner right now because there are 4 planets in your sign. The Sun and Mercury have moved into your sign and they're conjuncting, and also Venus and Neptune, your own ruler, are conjuncting your sign, and they're being trined beautifully by Jupiter in Scorpio. So that simply means that in one way or another, you may be instrumental in helping a mystery unravel, in uncovering the truth as people scatter their forces. There's also the possibility that you have been scattering your forces and that you've got a sort of a dreamy vision of what you want, and that may run into a roadblock because Mars in Sagittarius is squaring all the planets in your sun sign. So someone could come up with a big no to your wonderful dream, Pisces. But on the other hand, I think if a mystery unravels and justice is done, you'll be better for it no matter what. So I wish you the best of luck. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show on our website, and you can read our blog and hear our podcast at starborninstitute.org. Bye.